three subject thought and longing heart. This content is very important because we are still talking about how we can gain victory over Satan in our life. Yeah. But we have to understand that providential history in terms of subjugation of Satan has also made very significant progress, especially after Jesus' crucifixion, and Jesus was able to gain victory to subjugate Satan on the individual level. But then we have to also understand that true parents, true father in particular, came to complete the mission of Jesus. And we have to also understand that true parents also have established victory over Satan as the providence progresses. So even after true father was ascended, we have to understand that the providence have continued, and true mother has brought substantial subjugation of Satan, on a very cosmic level as well. So it is for this reason that this presentation is created so that we can inherit this victory of our true parents. And I will also introduce the original nature that we need to now inherit from true parents in order to gain this substantial victory over Satan in individual, in our own individual life, as well as on a couple level, as well as on a blessed family level. So I hope you can bear with me. So what is the three subject thought? So at the time of creation, God actually established the principle that human beings are to become three great subject partners. That means, first, it is in the thought of God that God wanted to establish these three subject partners in each one of us. Should be the wish that we have in our life, okay? To become a true parents, number one, to become a true teacher, and number three, a true owner. So these are the three subject thought that God had even before the creation of Adam and Eve. Yeah, and Adam and Eve was supposed to fulfill this. So the first great subject thought or great subject partner that we were supposed to become is true parents, and we are supposed to first perfect our individual character after going through a period of what we call autonomous spiritual growth based on the principles that God created. And then only based on that, we come together and be blessed in marriage, and we become a true couple, and then have our own children and attain the position of true parents. So that was the original purpose that Adam and Eve should have fulfilled, the ideal that should have been fulfilled, the three great subject thought, to become first a true parents. Okay, and through Adam and Eve, God also can become a true parents in the process. And the second great subject partner was to become a true teacher. Yeah, and we know that our first teachers are our parents. Okay. And we are supposed to teach not only others, teach ourselves and learn ourselves so that we can become a true teacher to ourselves and a true teacher to our spouse and to our children. Yeah. But then teacher, the heart of a teacher actually comes from the heart of a true parents. Yeah. Without the heart of a true parents, we cannot have the heart of a true teacher. Schools, basically, when we go to school, the teachers are supposed to provide education to us. But if they want to educate students, they must have the heart of a true parents, okay? So that they themselves can become true individuals, and mold their students to be true individuals. So there is a vertical education and a horizontal education, okay? Now, I don't have time to talk further on this. And then finally, the third subject thought, or third great subject partner, is to become a true owner, okay? And we must understand that when God created the creation, the cosmos, and Adam and Eve, he created with absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, we were supposed to inherit this absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, but we did not, okay? So in order to be a true owner, we need to possess the heart of a true parent in the process as well, okay? So it is important to understand that this three great subject partner basically has to work in such a way that if you become a true parent, you also become a true teacher and a true owner. And once you become a true teacher, it includes being a true parent and true owner. And the same way, if you become a true owner, you immediately becomes a true parent and a true teacher as well. Okay, let's move on. So the three wishes that we should have in our life is so that we can manage is to become a true parent, a true teacher, and true owner. So when we are able to have that kind of heart, as a true parent, as a teacher, as an owner, you find that we can change difficult, challenging relationship, whether it is towards our husband or wife or spouse, or towards our children. Okay, it's very important to understand that. True parents many times mention that if you want to develop a good relationship with your spouse, maybe you should start by looking at your spouse as your mother, your husband, or your as a father. That means you put yourself in the position as a child. Then moving on from one level to another, before you can become a husband or a wife to your spouse. So this is another very important understanding, so that we can develop this, finally, that we can develop the heart of parent, the heart of teacher, and the heart of owner. So these are the three subject thought. Why thought? Because it's the thought then develop into the heart. So the heart of parent, the heart of teacher, and heart of owner. Now we know that after the fall, if man had not fallen, then the position of parents will be established, and the children will then, there is no Cain and Abel restoration necessary. But because of the fall, the parent position was lost. And also not only the parent position was lost, the elder son position was lost as well. So in restoration, first we have to restore or establish the elder sonship position. And then only parents' position. And then establishing kingship. And if you have followed Dr. Young's lecture, kingship in terms of ownership is royal family in terms of tribal messiahship. But it's very important to understand that the stages of which the restoration has progressed. So in September 1989, Father declared parentism. Heavenly parentism was declared, in terms of the declaration of the 8-stage ceremony. So there's 8 stages vertically, 8 stages horizontally. And it was in Alaska that Father Kodiak, Alaska, that father declared this 8-stage ceremony. And then in September, that was in August 31st, 1989. Then in September 1989, True Father declared heavenly parentism. Yeah. And once heavenly parentism is established on earth, Satan can no longer dominate this world. Okay. So there will be no sinful world like it is today, you know. So heavenly parentism, once established on earth, Satan will have no dominion at all in this physical world. Okay. But it is interesting that after Father declared heavenly parentism in September, in November the 9th, almost 1 year later, 1990, the Berlin Wall collapsed. Yeah, communism collapsed. So you have to understand that once the position of the elder sonship is established, heavenly parentism can be established. And based on that, Satan can no longer hold on to his control of this world. That's why communism, which represents the Cain side, has to collapse. Communism collapsed in 1990. The Berlin Wall came down. Okay, so it's very important to understand how once heavenly parentism is declared and then established more and more, you'll find that Satan's dominion will be less and less, and God's dominion can come in. So I would like to very quickly go through this understanding about how we can inherit true parents' victory. So in 89, after true parents established, declared parentism, the Berlin Wall came down 1 year later. And then in 1999, we know very well that Lucifer repented with tears, and God's heart was resolved when God could forgive Lucifer. This was a historic meeting of God through Father and Lucifer on May 14, 1999 in Americana Hotel in Latin America. Okay, so this is you could say the victory that true parents gain over Lucifer. Okay, and this is the victory that we have to inherit. Okay, then in 2013, we know very well that Cheon was established. This was after the ascension of true father in 2012. Okay, so I proclaimed the founding year of Cheon, and Foundation Day is the start of Cheon. So Foundation Day was a very important day that True Father was looking forward, but True Father could not live to see the establishment of Foundation Day. And True Mother established this in 2013. Yeah, 1 year, year after the Father's ascension in September 2012 and 2013 January, Foundation Day in Cheon was established. And then more recently, May the 7th, 2023, the dedication of Gung and Sanctum, a new era, a new chapter, a new millennium has started. So we must understand that this is an amazing victory. Okay, at the prayer that True Mother offered at the plenary session of the summit. True Mother declared that God could now reside in our hearts. Okay, this is the prayer at the dedication ceremony of Cheon Sanctum and Gung. God can reside in our heart. God can govern us, and that we have now the foundation to be able to attend God directly. This is the prayer that True Mother prayed to all leaders, regardless of whether they are religious leaders, whether they were scientists, politicians. This was a prayer that It's a victorious prayer. So we can inherit this amazing victory. Okay. So by uniting with her, so I will explain a little bit about what that means. So this is the definition of what heart is. A bridge version of unification thought, written by Dr. Che. But what is more important than the word longing is used for the, we know very well that the deepest expression of the heart is this longing heart, this longing desire, this irrepressible longing desire, okay, to love, so when we miss someone, when we yearn for someone, this longing heart, we did not inherit from God at the time of Adam and Eve. We do not have longing heart at all. We also do not have the heart to love one another. This is the reality. So you can talk about loving, you can talk about being grateful, but most of the time we have fallen nature, and that rules our life completely. So one of the most important heart that we lost is this longing heart. This longing heart that should have come about, that we should have inherited. We have no longing heart for God. We have no longing heart for true parents, So thanks to Dr. Young, who emphasized the importance of longing heart. In my prayer, I include one desire that I have, to have a longing heart for true mother, longing heart for true father, and a longing heart for true for heavenly parent. Okay, this is something that we need to cultivate and pray. So while I was in Chongqing 1 as well, I don't know whether you are familiar with the Beatitudes or the sermon that Jesus gave at the, it's called the Sermon of the Mount, okay? And this is, the first one is, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So what is spirit? The core spirit is heart. And the most important aspect of the heart is to have this longing heart. So when we feel that we don't have longing heart, that means we are poor in spirit. So blessed are the poor in spirit. That means they can feel that they are lacking in spirit. That means they're lacking in heart, lacking in having this longing heart, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So we can cultivate this longing heart. Pray for this longing heart, because true parents have this longing heart. They have a longing heart for one another. They have a longing heart for God. We can inherit this longing heart. And through prayer at Chongqing 1, when you pray for a longing heart, God will give you that longing heart of our true parents. We can inherit this longing heart. So it's very important to have this longing heart. Yeah? And also, after the fall, we cannot feel the suffering heart of God. We cannot feel the suffering heart of my spouse. We cannot feel the suffering heart of my children. We cannot feel the suffering heart of my father or my mother. We cannot certainly feel the suffering heart of God. So this is also one of the Beatitudes, where Matthew 5:4, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Mourn means what? You feel pain in your heart because someone passed away, correct? You feel that pain in your heart because you miss someone. That person has gone to the other world. You mourn. So only when we can feel the suffering in our heart, we can feel the suffering of someone else, then we can be comforted. So most of the time have tremendous difficulty in bringing comfort to God's heart because we cannot feel the suffering heart of God. We violate the heart of God, we violate the heart of our loved ones, and we don't even realize we cause so much suffering to others. And we blame our own suffering onto others. This is one of the most fundamental problems that we face. We cannot feel the suffering heart of our loved one and the one that loves us. So that's why we can always feel that we cannot feel God's love and we cannot give God's love because of the lacking in suffering heart. So I just emphasize longing heart and suffering heart. You will see that basically this is something that we need to pray and inherit the heart of our true parents so that we can have this longing heart and this suffering heart that we lost at the time of the fall. Yeah.